Our next presenter is chef and restaurateur Nicola Blaque. Lattoia Massey, known professionally as Chef Nicola Blaque, is the executive chef and owner of the Jamaican-inspired restaurant, The Jerk Shack, as well as Freight Fried Chicken, a concept inspired by the story of Black women waiter carriers of the late 1800s. Chef Blaque is an Army veteran, a graduate of the Culinary Institute of America in San Antonio, a private chef, a wife, and a mom. Most recently, she was nominated for a James Beard Award for Best Chef Texas in 2023.
Okay. First and foremost, thank you, PechaKucha, for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm not sure how many Jamaicans have stood before on this podium, but I bet they probably don't look like me or sound how I sound, and probably sound a lot more Jamaican. So, what is a Jamaican? When most hear about the small island of Jamaica, one of the first things that come to mind is Bob Marley and reggae music, followed by cheesy cruises, well-manicured resorts, and colonized cuisines tailored for best guest experience. Popular movies portray Jamaicans with strong accents, dreadlocks, and smoking a lot of marijuana. But the Jamaicans that I know are people who come from many cultures and races. Like the coat of arms of Jamaica, the saying goes, out of many, one people. Jamaicans are descendants of Africa mixed with Europeans, Indians, Chinese, Middle Easterners, and South Americans. This photo is my immigration photo. What you see here is a scared 5-year-old arriving to a country where freedom is the highest priority, not knowing living there, not knowing living with the free would never really be for me. Her existence will be forever questioned for the rest of her life, to a place that would try to erase her heritage, but make her identify but one of the 3 boxes in which America said she can be. Her first time hearing of a stepfather was when she landed at his duty station in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and to a mother she hadn't seen in years. Imagine being the only Black girl in kindergarten with a foreign accent in the 1980s. You would think America would be a melting pot of cultures, and I would be accepted as a child, but I wasn't. This led me down a path of wanting to be accepted and be perceived normal like everyone else. It led me questioning who I am and what should I be. I was ridiculed about my accent so much, I abandoned my accent to disappear and fit in with everyone else. Joining the US Army at 18, looking to belong, landed me in Iraq within 100 days of basic training, and eventually 3 more tours that would include Afghanistan and Kuwait. I was further detached from my heritage and culture, but always found a way to be reminded of the food. That was my safe spot. When I missed home, under stress, or just a celebration of some sort, I cooked. This eventually led me to go to culinary school after the military. I went back to Jamaica as often as I could, but in 2017, I went back home because of a death in my family, which this visit sparked something inside me I never felt. The food tasted different, the air smelled fresher. I remember becoming obsessed with jerk chicken, trying it everywhere that was available to me till eventually I opened my own. As a graduate of the Culinary Institute of America, I thought, why not elevate my own food from my country, but share it within my story? After a few years as a private chef, I felt my skill set was strong enough and I was ready to share it with the world. What I thought that I was sharing was something from my heritage to the world, when in reality, it only allowed people to question who I was more. Where are you from in Jamaica? You don't have an accent. And now treated second class for not sounding Jamaican. These questions became even more ignorant, eventually turning statements that tried to shape who I am. I began to understand that a country filled with people who pass judgment on me know the least of where I come from. Like when you go to a Chinese restaurant, you don't question who is Chinese. Or is it because more people have visited Jamaica than China? My dad, one of 12 siblings, always reminded me that Jamaica is within me. A lot of my family still lives in Jamaica. And when I share these things with them, as you can see, we're almost there, I'm sorry. My dad, one of 12 siblings, always reminded me that Jamaica is within me. A lot of my family still lives in Jamaica, and when I share these things with them, you can see that none of them fit the Jamaican stereotype. Imagine being from a place where outsiders tell you what you should be like, how you should look, cook, or even your hair. Now that I'm a mom, my pain leads me when I'm parenting my children. I'm reminded to tell my kids to not let others ask you who you are, but say what you are. I spent over 35 years of my life allowing others to tell me what is normal, what is accepted. I want my kids to know they are Jamaican, they are beyond a couple check boxes, that there are no limits to their Jamaican, with or without the accent. We are chefs, we are teachers, we are soldiers, we are judges, we are doctors, we are vice presidents, we are limitless people, we are everything. We are a coat of arms of Jamaica. We are, like the saying goes, out of many, one people, one love. Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation. I know it was deeply personal, very moving. I am a lover of your food for a long time, way before I met you.
Thank you.
I would take that drive all the way over to it wasn't all the way over to everybody, but for where I lived, it was far for me to go to the original Jerk Shack location. And I made all my girlfriends meet me there, and they were like, "There's jerk chicken and mac and cheese." And I was just like, yes, it goes off. And so I wanted to ask, what made you decide that San Antonio was going to be the place for you to finally just be like, okay, I'm here, I gotta get used to it?
It was, again, not having a place where I felt, like I belonged. I came to this country when I was 5 years old, and I struggled with making friends because I came from a military family. I ended up joining the Army when I was 18, and like yourself as a veteran, we're constantly moving, and, when I met my husband, I just told him one of the biggest things that's important to me is just finding a place that I can plant my roots And San Antonio has just been that for us. We don't have any family here. It's just my husband and my kids and my strong network of friends and customers that literally have surrounded me and allowed me to plant here.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I also wanted to ask, what did it mean to be nominated for a James Beard Award? Because that is amazing. That is amazing.
You know, one, you know, I don't know how many people like actually follow it, but I wasn't one of those people that followed the James Beard. I was just too busy. I had 2 kids during the pandemic. I run 2 restaurants. Life is crazy for me every day. And so on this particular day, when the list came out, my friends who are actually seated here, Camille and Adrian, they called me and said, "You made the list." And, you know, it was kind of weird because I was like, what list? Like another, I thought maybe like another top restaurant list, you know, Jerk Shack's been on there. But yeah, you know, for me, it's unbelievable. As a Jamaican woman, as a Black woman, as someone who, I've literally the last couple of years just been following my heart and letting God take me there. And so, yeah, when it came out, I know that we're making waves, and I hope my speech tonight, you know, when your identity is questioned, people think sometimes that it's just an innocent question, but you never know where that person came from. So you know, I chose Jamaican because that's what I am. You know, our vice president, when she was questioned about, you know, being Black or being Indian, that hurt me because I get that because I don't sound or look Jamaican. I get it at my own restaurant. When I look at my 3-year-old and 4-year-old kid, you know, they're going to be faced with those questions. And we have to do better as people to not question where people come from and be supportive and show that we are a community and we have to do better. So,
thank you. Thank you.